That two sisters share for the environment is now paying off. They own a company that manufactures bricks from recycled plastic material, which is the first factory of its kind in South Africa. Their innovation also contributes to preserving one of our scarce resources, which is water. The manufacturing of these bricks consumes far less water compared to conventional cement bricks. So as we continue celebrating this Women's Month, let's bring in at least one of the brains, as they say, behind this novel idea. That's Kekeletso Tsiloane, who's co-owner of Ramtsilo Manufacturing and Construction, and joins us now in our studios. Kekeletso, thanks so much for popping by. Welcome to the SABC.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
This is such a unique idea that we have to kind of take a few steps back to where it started. As I mentioned there, you and your sister work together and you have a passion for the environment. But how did you come about to creating this kind of brick?
Sure. So we grew up in a very close-knit family, so everyone is just in each other's business. And I was the one who was always OCD about littering. So I wanted to know what's the afterlife of plastic, what happens when we litter. And so we started with research about the green economy and littering, but not to forget that my father had a construction company as well. So essentially he somehow groomed us, because on weekends, instead of having fun, we'd go to sites, literally in the bundus, to see buildings, and not knowing my sister would lead to the office space and I'll be in the ground. I guess that's what harvested the business etiquette, if I can say that, but we never grew up wanting to be in business. And then when I had to halt my studies because of financial constraints, that's when I went into business. But it started as a construction company. But doing that, we saw that there's a lot of formal brick manufacturing companies owned by women. That's when we started prototyping making bricks. But because of the green element and being OCD about litter, I was interested in waste. So then I did my research, and literally in my mom's yard, we made it a lab, a landfill, and we just had our hands dirty and made this brick I think that was in about 2016. So with research, tenacity, and just everybody being in there, that's how the brick came about.
Gosh, and look, I'm not in the space, so I imagine there's many other people who are watching thinking to themselves, are you just like collecting rubbish and creating some kind of brick form? What are perhaps some of the properties of this particular brick, such that I suppose it could be used as you would a conventional one?
Sure. So when it comes to the recycling side, we are those trolley men and women that you see in the roads. We collect plastic. We learn also in the SVD that there's different types of plastic. So there's your type 1, type 2 that react differently, right? But we wanted to still have a plug-and-play product. So we made a brick that still has the same look and feel as a normal conventional cement brick. So it's still cut and chased the same way because of the construction element that we come from as well. So you don't see plastic in the brick. It's only an added benefit for us in that it's a great insulation property. It's a great thermal rating that has been tested by labs like Argument SA that helps standardize non-standardized products. So this is a brick that's still used. It's available in Leroy Merlin stores and Builders Warehouse stores. So it's a brick that has been even extended my mom's house. That was our first client. So we literally trialed it and tested it, and it's still growing. Our factory space is also growing as well. People are really interested in this green product, and it's gaining a lot of traction in education as well. So
I suppose to the naked eye, and we're showing some of the images there on our screen, you wouldn't be able really to distinguish between this brick and a conventional one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we wanted to keep to it, because normally when people think recycling, they think expensive, they think needing to get trained, they think special editors.
Or substandard, perhaps.
Exactly. So we wanted to keep something that's still traditional, that's still accessible, that's just a plug and play, but has numerous added benefits. Even the weight of it is like 1 kilogram lighter than your normal cement brick, which for us, because of the construction background that we have, we know how much of an added benefit is it. But when we did the numerous testing, that's when we got the insulation property as well, the thermal rating as well, the acid and mold repellent, the water absorbent. Because of the plastic element, it's less water absorbent, so it lasts longer. So your building maintenance is maintained over a long period of time. But there's no modern features or anything special that you need to it. It sticks to brick and the cement and mortar. You still cut it and you still chase it as well, and you still plaster over it. So it's really a good product that doesn't look fabulous, but it has a lot of great benefits.
And look, we, I suppose, could do with a whole lot more innovative ideas around preserving our environment. How have you found the market, potential clients are responding though?
People are responding relatively good. I think people are now conscious of the kind of products that they are purchasing. People are conscious of where the environment is going. People are conscious of where our children will be housed, what environments will they live in. We need buildings that breathe with us and live with us and can accommodate different temperatures, different thermal ratings, different things that we wanted to be prone to work with Earth, not work against Earth. So people have now a leading education on the green economy, and it has made our product really stand out. And not forgetting also keeping the standards good, keeping the squareness of the brick, keeping the look and feel of the brick as well, keeping the right strength of the brick as well, gives it added benefit that people literally go and demand these bricks.
Yeah. Gosh, there's such a rich philosophical underpinning that's kind of, I suppose, inspired your direction. And I happen to be reading a book that speaks about how we're constantly in communication with the planet, even when we grieve. Actually, there's a constant interplay, and I wonder just how much you reckon that is that conversation is centralized enough as we go about this business of living, right? Because whether or not you're conscious of the environment, you can't escape it.
Yeah.
And I suppose in some ways, this is what's, as I mentioned, driven you to taking this particular path.
I mean, we were faced with things like water scarcity, something that we did not think will come so soon in our lives. And it has taught us to think differently about water. It has taught us to educate our children on water and how they brush our teeth and how they use it and how to take care of it. It has taught us methods on harvesting water, rainwater, and other green methods that we can use today that we've already been implementing. I mean, growing up in a black household, we used to use our plastics, our ice cream tubs were our scuff teens, as we call it. So we knew recycling. So recycling is something that has been traditionally in us in such a long time, but we lost that essence. And I think Earth is kind of teaching us to bring it back in simple ways, in simple, practical ways, in our fashion, in how we dress, in how we conduct ourselves, in how we farm, in how we work. We also use rainwater for our manufacturing processes as well. And we also made it a benefit that our brick uses less water because it's one of the things that we wanted to reduce and eradicate as well.
Sure. Interesting. I have to ask you about how it feels working as a woman in this industry. I mean, you started off by mentioning that you know of several women who are running very similar construction companies. And I dare say, I don't think that's common knowledge. So how are you finding your experience, given the fact that, you and your sister perhaps aren't the conventional construction type workers that people think of?
Sure. No, maybe I made a mistake. When we started, we struggled actually to get women who are in the industry, even in manufacturing places. So we are in spaces that it's such a taboo to be a woman and to be a black young woman in these spaces. We are trying to dominate spaces that have been male dominated for centuries. People question your capabilities. People don't trust your advisors, but it's what makes us different. We've got that tenacity. We've tried and tested our product. We believe in from strength to strength. I mean, it was vital for us to know how to make the product from the start, so that in our manufacturing process right now, we're able to fit in anyway because we know from the ground up how our brick is made. So we have the right education. We also had the right learnings of when we were standardizing the products and just teething those processes and realizing that that's important to shape me as a woman, because it's still a taboo for women to be in such technical skills. But the more you make yourself dominant, the more you learn your trait as well and realize that learning never stops. So you need to educate yourself as a leader, as a human being, as a woman, and as a technical person as well. So the education really is growing, but more women are taking such pivotal spaces, more women are taking such pivotal roles, and we get to spaces, engineering spaces, where we meet with women, and it's such a great atmosphere that it's such a new feeling, it's such a rejuvenation, but it's still a long way to go, and it takes just one woman at a time standing up. You don't have to do anything amazing, just standing up and taking the first step is what we need to eradicate this.
Absolutely, laying the first brick, as some people might say. What an inspiring conversation this has been, not only I think for people who are interested in your space, but just generally for people I think who are keen on the concept of breaking barriers. So thanks very much indeed for coming to speak to us, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, so there you have it. Kekeletso and Tsiloane, the co-founder of Ramtsilo Manufacturing and Construction.